This is gonna be one of the most interesting rebuilds I have ever done, because today I took the lowest overall starter in my custom rosters at each position and threw them all onto one team. And we are gonna see A, how this team does just on its own in simulation, and if we win any games with this team, and B, we are gonna try to add players and try to turn this into a good team while trying to keep as many of these players as we can. But either way, like I said, this should be a ton of fun. But we'll get into this in just a second, so super quick, I want to make this intro short. If you enjoyed today's video and you want to see something that's like pretty similar to this, that may involve a wheel spin type thing that I think would be a ton of fun, be sure to leave a like on the video. But if we can get to 2,500 likes on this video, I think that's a fair goal. That's something we've been hitting. I will do something that's similar to this, but wheel spin related, because I know y'all enjoy those. That's what like 90% of my suggestions are. And also subscribe for more, because if you like goofy stuff like this is literally all I do. And last thing, I don't think there's a shout out for this one. I don't know if this was a suggestion, but normally I do shout outs if I use suggestions, so let me know any fun ones down in the comments. But alright, without further ado, I feel like I should say this too. There are some players on this team, maybe like DeMarco Helms or Jervon Dexter, like that I don't think are legitimately bad, but just unproven, and by that, they're like the lowest rated at their positions, you know, in terms of starters, just because I can see the comments already. This is the unproven / worst starters team, we'll call it that. But let's just get straight to the end of year one. I mean, why not? And we will see how this team does. Okay, we don't win a game. Unlucky. Every other team in our division finished with at least 10 wins from getting to beat us twice a year. Gardner Minshew wasn't great. Neither was Rashad White, 4.2 or 3.2 per carry. Joshua Palmer was okay. Ah, I see. 22 sacks allowed from Tyler Guyton. Not quite a record, but probably would shatter the record in real life, at least I would hope. And then I'm not expecting much on defense either. No. 4.5 sacks for Joe Tryon, which he's the one player I have the most hope for, because he does weirdly well in this game. Not necessarily here, but in the future, maybe. And then more interceptions than I expect, so that's cool. But let's get into the first offseason here, and we will see what we can do with this team, because we need to do something, clearly. But in free agency, we're just gonna do one thing, because there isn't anyone here good. I mean, there's Jahmyr Gibbs, but like, I don't want to just bring back all the Lions players or anything. So we'll try to sign Michael Pierce. I mean, he's older, but he's good. Pretty much, you know, the best player in free agency, other than Gibbs, of course. So we'll try to sign him. Not super exciting, but he is a good player, which we don't have for the most part. But okay, in the draft, we pick at number 1, of course. And we are obviously going to take a quarterback. Now, we kind of lucked out here, because there is a top 5 talent at quarterback, which, you know, there do end up being a few of them, like once every few draft classes, but, you know, it's still lucky that we did get one. Also, there are 8 projected first to second, or at least somewhere in the first round projected QBs, which is interesting, and only one of them, I guess maybe 2 of them are actually worth it. So we'll go with the one that is for sure worth it in Quincy Bonds. Elite throw power, kind of a cool name for a QB too, so plus he's only 21, so we're gonna take him. Hidden Dev, 96 throw power, 84 speed too, we'll take it. Definitely could have traded that pick back, but I'm not gonna pass up on a top 5 talent QB. Now this pick we could trade down, because we do need to fill out this roster pretty badly. So let's trade this pick back to like maybe 16 or 20 in the second round. All right, we're just gonna take a lot of picks from the Texans, because, you know, like I said, we just need picks. So we're gonna take 2 4ths and a 7th. This is like an okay trade for us. Oh, and the safety I wanted is gone, unfortunately. Oh, you know what? Call me crazy, but Dave Russell looks pretty good. Good speed, A to C awareness, B-man, B pursuit, B tackle. We'll see. Obviously, the main thing we should be worrying about is the O-line with how horrible it was last year, but I don't see any amazing linemen this year. So, all right, last 2 picks I'm gonna show, and then I'll take a few more, but Dave Russell, only 21 years old, out of West Virginia. Hidden Dev, 89 speed, that's about fair. We'll take it. And then the last pick here could be a really good player. Maybe not immediately, but he could be. But Harold Allen, out of Minnesota, only 20 years old. Great speed, elite acceleration, elite agility. The only thing is, bad awareness and play rec. Usually corners have bad play rec, but the awareness isn't great. But he has A-man, B-zone, and obviously a few elite traits, so we're gonna take him. Normal dev, unfortunately. I thought thought he was gonna have hidden dev because he is a weird player at only 20 years old. Kinda weird ratings. Like, C to F awareness for a good corner's kinda weird. Unless he's just not good, I don't know, but we'll see. And okay, in the draft, we did pretty well. Quincy Bonds is an 81 overall. Already the 18th ranked quarterback in the NFL before he's even played a snap. That's crazy. Really good accuracy too. 84 awareness is crazy. Dave Russell isn't great, but at least he has a dev trait. That's still good value for the mid-second. And then Harold Allen, 77 overall. That's about what I expect. Didn't he have like C to F play rec? That was a 75. Ratings in this game are really, really, really weird. Like, what would an A be then? If that was, I would assume a C. I don't know. But what was my last pick? Oh no, I actually made every pick here. I forgot about that. So we got a decent receiver. We got 3 linemen with Daniel Newberry being the best at a 75 overall. A couple bad linebackers and then an okay receiver. Honestly, this wasn't the best draft class ever, but we did pretty well. Like, look at some of these other drafts. Like, they got better players down the board, but over half of our picks were better than anybody like the Jets got, or the Packers, or the Panthers. Like, we did very well. But here's a look at the team heading into year 2. Looking, I would say good, but better. Can't quite say good yet. But there are certain parts of our team that are good, like the quarterback position, especially. And then here's the defense. Not great, but better. We're up to a 75 overall. We started at, what, a 69? So definitely an upgrade from that point. Oh yeah, and we got a few dev traits last year, like a decent amount. Who all was it? It was maybe Kaiser White, Jake Hummel, Jazeer Taylor. I thought there was one more, but either way, should help us develop even more, which is always good. And hopefully, I guess just the big thing is, well, the two biggest things are, hopefully our run game isn't the worst thing ever like it was last year. Might have to start Zeke, even though he is a worse overall, because he does do pretty well in this game sometimes. I know this is a small sample size, but like, I don't know, we'll see. And then the other big thing is, of course, the offensive line, which hopefully will be better than last year, but you never know. But all right, anyways, let's get to the midseason point of year 2, and we will see how this team does. Okay, well, we're 0-7. Not great. You know what? It might be better to just go for the number 1 overall pick here, but is there anyone we could bench just to maybe do a little better? Because I don't want to ruin Quincy Bonds. Okay, you know what? We might try Zeke as our number 1 running back. 3.1 yards per carry, even behind this O-line, is really terrible. And Tyler Guyton is awful at right tackle even, so we'll probably bench him. All right, I think we have a plan. I don't know if we should use the plan, because again, the number 1 pick would be nice, but this is depressing. It'll get better, but still, for now, it's depressing. And we have a ton of re-signings. I'm not going to show these, but I'll figure them out if we can get all these players back. I doubt we get all these players back because, you know, I don't think these guys would necessarily want to re-sign with an 0-7 team that just went 0-17. But all right, let's get to the end of the year and we will see if we can win a game. Okay, we do win 3 games at least. We're coming off of a 42-14 loss to the Packers. All right, what was the issue? What happened this year? I mean, I'm sure I know what the issue was. Quincy Bonds wasn't great as a rookie, which, you know, can't really blame him. Ooh, we'll have to see what his dev trait is in a second. If he had, oh, wait, does it show dev trait when you're checking stats? I can't remember. I don't know why. Because I'm trying to think if it would show next to his name if he had like Superstar or X Factor or something. I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. But Zeke was definitely better than Rachaad White, 3.9 per carry. Not good, but better. We'll have to start him again next year if we can't find a running back. But Tavon Carter as a rookie, I'm glad I made him the number 1. 1,100 yards, 4 touchdowns. Did I show me picking him? Oh, also has Superstar Dev. What a pick that was. Joshua Palmer also did well too. I don't know why I closed out of it. I'm really smart. But Daniel Newberry at left tackle was horrible. Can't say I didn't expect that. But the rest of our line held up well enough at least. But Kaiser White, 157 tackles led the team. Tons of TFLs. 20 for Gervon Dexter. Or Gervin Dexter? I don't know. I always thought it was Gervon Dexter, but I've heard someone pronounce it Gervon. I don't like that as much. That's like GIF versus GIF or whatever people say. I don't know. But I guess I like the opposite more because I like Gervon Dexter. But of course, Joe Tryon had a very good year. 18 TFLs, 9 sacks. Outside of him, though, I mean, 2.5 sacks for DJ Wanham. Not great. We had 6 total sacks from the rest of the team. Joe Tryon with 9. Nice, but also very much not nice. And then 2 picks for Helms and Allen as a rookie, and then 1 for 4 different players. Was that 4? I don't know. I don't care. It might have been 3. I can't count. But MVP goes to Lamar. No Lions. Big shocker. No Lions up here for Offensive Player of the Year either. Of course. Of course. Aiden Hutchinson got signed by the Cardinals and won Defensive Player of the Year. That's great. Oh, and even better, we get cucked. Chuck Westerman wins Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Saints. Tavon Carter at 2. Quincy Bonds at 3. I hate this game. Harold Allen at number 7 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. It's gonna be one of these rebuilds. These are always my favorite. But now in free agency, this is a very good free agent class, thankfully. It's like 90% Browns players because they become broke in franchise because of the Deshaun Watson deal and just it's an expensive team in general. So we are gonna take advantage of that, or at least try to. We might get like a third of these players. I think there's almost 0 chance we get all of them, but hopefully we get all of them somehow. We are gonna go for Nick Chubb, so if we get him, there go our running back issues. Joel Bitonio, Zadarius Smith, Wyatt Teller, David Njoku, and Michael Carter. We're gonna turn the Lions into the Browns, pretty much, other than Michael Carter. So this should be interesting. I think I'm gonna come out of this very disappointed, possibly not very happy, but hopefully we get at least a few of these players. I mean, we should. We have a lead, or at least tied for a lead for everybody here. So let's see what happens. Everybody signs except Zadarius Smith. We're not getting Zadarius Smith. The Titans are, apparently. But, okay. We get Nick Chubb, Joel Bitonio, Wyatt Teller, and Michael Carter. David Njoku also goes to the Titans. That's interesting. And then Zadarius Smith, like I said, probably going to go to the Titans. So pass rush is still a big issue. And there isn't really anyone here I want too bad. BJ Ojulari's here. Oh yeah, I kind of messed up the Cardinals in my custom rosters. I may or may not have signed or saved over my regular rosters with like a weird goofy one I made where the Cardinals just didn't have any players and I had to sign them all back, so now their contracts are messed up, but whatever. So now they just lose all their players. But all right, I think that's all we're gonna do, so let's get to the draft, and I haven't looked at the draft at all yet, so hopefully there's some good players. And okay, I think this year we are definitely gonna trade this first pick down. I mean, we're not in a position where we need like a quarterback. We are in a position where we do need a receiver and a defensive end, so I guess we could take this pick, but honestly, I see some better players later anyways, so we're gonna be trading back. I didn't really see a good pass rusher, which sucks, but I guess after we trade down, we wouldn't really be in a position to take one anyways. So let's trade this down. We have number 3, I think, which there were some terrible teams. If we finished 3-14 and pick at 3, I guess that's what happened in real life because I think the Patriots were 3-14, but whatever. All right, we are trading down with the Cowboys. We're getting pick teen, their first next year, a second this year, and a third this year, and then a fourth, also this year. So we're getting a lot of picks. We're taking their entire first part of the draft to trade back quite a bit. Now, hopefully the player I wanted is still here. It's definitely not a position of need, but it is a good player, and he is still here. Gilbert Craig. Well, there is also Christian Hayward. Crazy way to spell Christian. Seems a little bit unnecessary, but fair enough. I do think Gilbert Craig is better. He looks a little better. I mean, either way, they're top 5 talents, so we can't really go wrong, I guess. I mean, we definitely can by picking the worst of the two. There's also Dalton Moses, who looks good. Maybe not a top 5 talent, but close. But yeah, we're gonna go with Gilbert Craig. I mean, if we can find a good player, we're gonna take the good player. Y'all know my strategy. Hidden dev, thankfully. Sometimes these top 5 safeties don't have a dev trait, and I hate it, but he does. But now with our second first round pick, our first second round pick, said that backwards, we still really do need a pass rusher, but I mean, by this point, there's just never a good one in franchise. Like Rob Saunders, off-brand Bob Sanders, I don't know. Looks all right, but he's slow, so he'll probably be like a 72 overall. Marcus Gardner's fast-ish, but his pass rush moves aren't very good. So I think we'll just go with the receiver, and look at this receiver. 4.28 speed, elite acceleration, elite change of direction, a deep route. Other than that, for receiving ability, he isn't great. At least he has B release, but I like the A to B awareness. That's always something I look for, obviously. Hopefully it's B catch in traffic too. Usually good deep threat receivers also have good spec catch, and he doesn't, so I don't know. But I mean, on paper, everything looks good. Not everything, but there are things that look very good. So possibly a normal dev, but hopefully not. We'll take him. Does have hidden, 96 speed, 97 excel. 96 speed seems a little low for a 4.28 and a 4.27, but I guess we'll still take it. What else is new? Oh, and there's still a ton of good safeties left. Maybe it would have been a better strategy to just wait on a safety because there's still good ones, but like, I don't know if they would have been better than the ones we have right now or already had. You know what I'm trying to say, maybe. But I think we might go with Darnell Joseph here. I don't normally take players that look like this because usually they're not good. I mean, they look good on paper. Like A power moves, that sounds cool. Elite strength, but usually it's like they're a 70 overall normal dev. I don't know. Might as well take a chance. Does have hidden 90 strength. Weird player. He has like defensive tackle ratings or like 3-4 defensive end ratings. I guess he would definitely be really fast for a 3-4 DN, but I don't know. 90 strength at only 265 is interesting. But I'll make a few more picks. I don't think I'm going to take every pick this year, and we will see how we do. But okay, we did pretty well. Gilbert Craig, 81 overall. This looks like a similar, draft to last year in terms of overalls. I guess it went like 81, 75, 77, I think, but close enough. But yeah, Gilbert Craig, very good. Amari Kennedy, honestly, I was kind of hoping would be a little better. A 75 is still good. Like that's fair value for the early second, I think, in Madden draft classes, because I think a 75 is a first to second round talent. Then Darnell Joseph is a 75 overall, so that was definitely a good pick. Desperate need, so I'm very glad we got him. And then Greg Bowden, good corner. He had hidden dev too. Sheldon Durham didn't, but he's decent. And then my last pick was Tavon Myers. I was thinking it would be really good, and then literally as I was clicking the A button, I noticed he had D play rec. It's a 64, so that's not great. But other than that, he looks really good. 70 zone, 89 speed, 83 tackle, 84 pursuit. Like those are some crazy ratings for a 4th round linebacker, just held back by the play rec. And then the CPU picked a couple decent players. Greg McLeod, a good running back. The one thing I wish we could have gotten was a tight end. I guess the CPU picked one, but not a good one. So we'll have to look to do that this offseason. But let's get into year 3, and we should actually be looking pretty decent. Okay, here we are heading into year 3. I have a good feeling about this team. That's kind of rare in franchise. Normally I have a bad feeling about every team we have, but I really am just a doomer when it comes to Madden. I mean, can you really blame me? But we have like a legitimately very, very good offense. There are definitely issues, like our receiving core isn't great, but it's a receiving core with a ton of potential. You know what? The tight end the CPU drafted, Will Cooper, does have hidden devs, so like it's probably just star, but we might as well start him, I guess. I mean, we could also start like Brevin Jordan, who we picked up out of free agency, but I don't know. Might as well start the guy with a hidden dev. Why not? Also, I still have my concerns about the O-line, but I put Joel Bitonio at left tackle, which should hopefully be good, and then moved Newberry to right tackle, because it's harder to allow a million sacks there. I mean, just slightly harder, but at least harder. And then here's the defense. We did get a superstar dev for Kaiser White because he had a million tackles, and still a lot of rookies starting, like Joseph, Myers, Craig, and Bowden. All of them have hidden dev too, which is very nice. We also picked up BJ Hill out of free agency, so I don't know. We should be, I shouldn't say should. We could be pretty good, but realistically, an 81 overall is probably still like the worst team in the league, or at least close. But there are just certain times in Madden where I'm like, you know what? We don't have a good team on paper, but that usually works to your advantage in franchise for God knows what reason. And yeah, we do have tied for the worst overall in the league. It's tied with a lot of teams, but still tied for the worst. But all right, let's get to the midseason point, and we will see how we do. I should have predicted it. I was literally gonna say we're gonna be 3-4 at the midseason, and we are 3-4. Now, our defense is pretty terrible. I guess our offense is maybe worse. Our offense is at least better in yards, but for points per game, we're 24th on offense, 21st on defense. But our yards are a little better on offense. I don't know. I'm surprised we're even 3-4 with those kind of stats, but whatever. We have some re-signings, probably just more. Yeah, I had to franchise tag Joe Tryon. He didn't want to re-sign. Let's see, 5 years, 96. Still doesn't take it. I don't know why he hates us so much. Michael Pierce will resign. And then for now, I think that'll be it. But really not much for us to do here. So let's just get to the end of the year and we will see. I'm going to guess like 7-10 now that I'm seeing the stats. Maybe like 6-11, but we'll see. Even if that's the case, that's better than we have been by a decent bit. Okay, and actually, here we are at the end of the year. And you know, if you've seen one of my videos before, y'all know why we're here. Before I reveal how we did in year number 3, if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like, be sure to subscribe. Again, 2,500 2,500 likes and I'll do something similar, but possibly more fun than this. This has been pretty fun so far. It's kind of similar to a 0 overall rebuild where we just have to build the team up, but a little better of a starting team. This was definitely fun. The one I'm doing won't be as bad of a starting team, but it could be not amazing. But yeah, again, 2,500 likes. It'll let me know y'all want to see that. I'll probably do it anyways, but still, it helps out the channel. I would appreciate it. And question of the day. I have an interesting question of the day for today. So let me know this down in the comments. You know, I feel like it's pretty fair knowledge. Patrick Mahomes, best QB in the NFL. But for number 2, it's a pretty decent debate, I guess. So let me know in the comments if you had the choice, if you would take Lamar, Josh Allen, or Joe Burrow. I honestly feel like all 3 are a little overhated in their own right. I feel like Lamar doesn't get brought up in that conversation enough. It's usually Burrow or Allen. Josh Allen throws a lot of picks, has a lot of turnovers, but like that's just his style of play. You kind of are fine with that because he does so much other crazy stuff. And then Joe Burrow just gets hurt a lot. So I don't know. I would probably take, you know what? I'll play the pacifist role. I'll say I'm fine with either of the 3, but let me know which one you would take down in the comments. I'm sure there are some people with very strong opinions on that. But all right, finally, in year number 3, we finished 9-8 and we made the playoffs with what was tied for the worst roster in the league at the start of the year. So whatever, certified EA moment. But Quincy Bonds, do we just not have that pass heavy of an offense? We really don't have that run heavy of an offense either. Where do we rank for pass attempts? We had 434 from our starter, 27th. Okay, maybe we should change our offensive playbook. I mean, it was fine this year, but usually the more passing attempts you have, the better. Should we try Bengals? I don't know. We'll see. But Nick Chubb, 1,350 yards, 5.1 per carry, 10 touchdowns. Also 10 touchdowns for Zeke. That's interesting. 1,260 yards for Tavon Carter. He had almost 15 yards per catch, yards per reception, 10 touchdowns. He was very good. For blocking, also very good. I mean, to be fair, in hindsight, the fact this isn't that pass heavy of an offense makes what Tyler Guyton did a million times worse, because he allowed 22 sacks in probably only like 440 or 50 passing attempts. That's not great, but again, Kaiser White led the team in tackles, less TFLs this year, which is probably a good thing, and then sacks, 10.5 for Joe Tryon, very good year, 5.5 for Darnell Joseph, good rookie year, and then again, that's about where the sacks stop, and then we had 4 total interceptions on the year. Not great, but 4 MVP, no Lions, Mahomes wins it, shocker. Nobody for offensive player of the year or defensive player of the year, and we get cucked again. This year was a little more understandable. It wasn't as good, but Ronald Meekins wins it for the Commanders. Amari Kennedy at number 2, Will Cooper at 6, which by the way, Will Cooper had superstar devs, so I'm glad I set tight end as our draft focus position. And then Darnell Joseph at number 3 for defensive rookie of the year. We're just allergic to rookie of the year awards, I guess. I don't know. But all right, we have a first of many scenario here against the Panthers, who we'll go play it cool first, but they went 13-4 with an 83 overall team. Maybe we should just stick around an 83 overall. Like, that's crazy. I guess we aren't the worst team in the league anymore. The Patriots are only an 82. Same with the Jags. Okay. And the Cardinals. So we at least passed them up, but I don't know. We have some upgrades though. Anything important? BJ Hill, Dave Russell, Greg Bowden, 3 starters. So that's cool. But we'll see what happens in this game. Should we try the Panthers offense? I mean, you know what? The Panthers offense used to be one of my go-tos. Back when it was more like centered for Christian McCaffrey, it really used a receiving back, which made it really good, but it doesn't really do that anymore. So maybe I shouldn't, but it was good here. So I don't know. We'll see. But let's see if we can take down the Carolina Panthers. We do. Why? Okay. I mean, they were the same overall as us, to be fair. So I guess that's fair, but they did much better in the regular season. And, you know, we kind of smoked them. We beat them by double digits. We beat them by 14. So I don't know if we should have done that, but we'll take it. We have a recap for the first of many. Give us those sweet, juicy staff points. And now we are going to be losing in the playoffs. We are going to be taking on the 15-2, 89 overall San Francisco 49ers. Now, the 49ers honestly aren't that good in this game, or at least they should do better because they're always one of the higher overall teams, and they usually go about 9-8. Here they didn't, but usually they underperform. I'm scared. This is like the first time I've ever been scared that we're gonna win a game, because we really shouldn't. Of course we do. Why wouldn't we beat a team that's 6 overall better at home and 6 more wins? This game sucks so bad. But we have a couple upgrades: Gilbert Craig, Jervon Dexter, or Gervon, I don't care. Let me guess, the Cowboys are gonna beat us. Yeah, they beat the shit out of us, 42-17. That's really cool. But here's what we're gonna do in free agency. It's an interesting free agent class. It's a little bit different than usual. Like, normally we don't see guys like Tony Pollard, Budda Baker. You know, it's a little different, which is cool. It's better than it being the same as always. But we're only gonna go for a few players, but a few good players. All on defense. Budda Baker, Zadarius Smith, and Jerzon Newton. We really need more pass rush still. And Jerzon Newton has had like 9 sacks. He had like, I think it was like 8.5 and then 9.5 the last couple years or something like that. Zadarius Smith, pretty much like the same stats, and that's a lot better than what we've had. And then, you know, might as well add another good safety, especially when we only had like 4 total picks last year. So let's see if we can sign these 3 players. We get Baker and Smith, and then Newton. Ooh, he isn't gonna sign. There was also Javon Hargrave, but I'm assuming he's signed by now. Yeah, that sucks. And Grady Jarrett signed. Ooh, Eric Armstead is here though. Okay, we'll just go for Eric Armstead then. Definitely older, a lot older, but better production. If he wants to sign, he doesn't sign there. Let's sim to the next week and see if he finally signs. I don't know why players still hate us so much. Like, we're actually a pretty good team on paper now, and still players don't want to sign. Why is it taking so long? Hurry up, I'm impatient. All right, does Eric Armstead finally sign? He does. Okay, cool. And we still have 21 mil left over. We're not gonna spend it because there isn't really anyone else that's too great here, but honestly, I'm kind of thinking about making a trade. We'll see. Probably not, but maybe. But in the draft, we pick at number 29. Weird to go from the 3rd pick in the draft to the 29th. I didn't even feel like we did that well. We just got lucky, which I guess is kind of unlucky, because now we don't have a good draft pick. And it didn't matter because we didn't win a Super Bowl, didn't even make it. But here's where I'm maybe thinking of trading this pick. Mitch Booth actually looks pretty good. Could be really good. But is he better than what we already have at receiver? I don't know. And that's kind of what we need, just immediate big upgrades, rather than like possible future good receivers. Sheldon Ridgeway looks crazy good too. Sheldon Ridge, wasn't that the name of like a Jets defensive lineman? Am I just thinking of Sheldon Richardson? Maybe. I don't know. Oh, and there's some really good looking defensive ends. All guys that look kind of similar to the guy we took last year, but a lot of them. Usually I don't see this many. Thurman Hayden, I kind of like. We might take him at we don't need, do we need more pass rush? I mean, we need more pass rush effectiveness, but we kind of already have enough players. This guy also looks almost identical to the guy we took last year, like very similar. But all right, think we're gonna trade this pick away. I'm just making sure that there's nobody crazy, which I guess the center might be. We could trade our 2nd round pick for what I'm thinking of. That might be better, because yeah, Sheldon Ridgeway looks really good. He is already 23, and he doesn't, I would hope for great strength, to be fair, but I mean, look at those ratings again. Like, he's supposed to be a power type, so finesse is supposed to be his weakness, and he still has B pass block finesse and C run block finesse, which isn't great, but isn't terrible at all. So we'll take him. Hidden dev sounds good. Oh wait, we have 2 first round picks. I forgot it. Of course, the Cowboys ended up making the Super Bowl, when honestly they don't make the Super Bowl that much anymore in franchise. But the one year we have their pick, they do make it. Now they got blown out by the Chiefs, but still. Okay, we might trade this pick, because there's one position group on the team where we need somebody better. Like, we have good players, but we need somebody that's like really good. Do we though? Okay, the position group I'm thinking about is receiver, obviously, if you can figure that out. But Tavon Carter was honestly really good last year, even not as that crazy of an overall. Should we just stick with what we have, and if it doesn't go well, sign a free agent receiver? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if there's a reason to get so aggressive when we, you know, were good last year. All right, we'll just stick and pick. We'll take that one receiver, Mitch Booth. It's a smarter cap move than trading for a receiver when our cap space is already getting a little scary. So we'll take him. Normal dev, really? I think he's gonna be a really good overall. Like, he looks great on paper. He honestly doesn't really have any flaws, other than, I guess, acceleration, and his route running isn't like crazy good, but it's okay. But normal dev kind of ruins any chance of him ever being good, so I'm glad that's a thing. I just don't really like how dev traits work. They're kind of stupid. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I feel like it should be more of a potential thing based on like athleticism rather than a completely random thing. thing. But last pick we're going to show, I think, we are going to take Thurman Hayden. It just looks exactly the same as the guy we took last year. Not exactly the same, but I'm pretty sure 6'5", 265, 22 years old. Pretty sure those are all the same. So we'll take him. Hidden Dev, 88 strength, 82 speed, 86 excel. I'm pretty sure the guy we took had 90 strength, 81 speed, 87 excel when we took him, so we took the same player. But okay, here's how we did in the draft. This one was kind of disappointing, honestly. Sheldon Ridgway is a 78. That's like the absolute lowest I could have seen him being, just if none of his A ratings were actually all that good, and that was the case. I mean, they were all good, but none of them were like what should have been A pluses, which again, I still wish A plus is worth. I won't stop complaining about it until they make it a thing. It's stupid that it isn't, but he's good still, so we'll take it. But Mitch Booth is only a 75? I thought he could be like an 80, like genuinely. I guess just not that good of a route runner, but he isn't a horrible route runner. I don't know. I don't really see what the issue with him is either. He also has 92 change of direction, so it's not like run after catch abilities holding him back at all. Skill issue? I don't know. But Thurman Hayden is exactly the same as the guy we took last year. And then I kind of messed up the tight end picking. There was a first to second round talent tight end, and I was hoping he would have been available still with our 4th round pick. So I took Buckner, who was projected to go first, just because he looked really good. He had like A awareness, a lot of A ratings. He isn't that good. I mean, he's fine, but no dev trait. And then the first to second round talent guy got taken. And then I thought Louis Dyson would be really good because he had like elite strength, not the worst speed for a blocking tight end, A for like every blocking stat, but he's only a 71, which is still good value with hidden dev. But every pick I thought would be better. I thought Ridgway could be like an 81. I thought Booth would be like a 78 or 9. Hayden is about what I thought he would be. Buckner I thought could be like a 75. Dyson I thought could be like a 76. So unlucky. I don't know. I tried. Oh wait, I do want to see where the center ranks in the class though. Probably not a top 5 talent, but maybe top 10? Maybe? There was an 85 overall running back. Good lord. But Ridgway was tied for 11th in terms of overall at a 78. I guess listed at 12th. I don't know what decides like where players rank here. I don't know if it's just random, but definitely a good pick at number 29 or wherever we took him. But here we are heading into year 4. We are looking good. Not the best, but good. 85 overall. Unfortunately, we really don't have many of the original players left. We do have a few, like Hummel, White, Joe Tryon, Josh Palmer. Like, you know, we had to make some moves to make this a good team. And, you know, we still have a lot of the original guys as backups, like Mauk, Neal, Tolbert. But for starters, we mostly replaced the original players here, so we can actually do well. But yeah, this should be a really good offense. We have a good O-line, pretty decent receivers, obviously a great running back, great QB, and the defense should be much better. I don't know if it'll be great, but better at least, with potential to be great. I mean, you never know. You can have like a 78 overall team and do great in simulations, so we'll see what happens. It's gonna be interesting. We did well in the preseason, which is for some reason an indicator of how you're gonna do in the regular season in Madden. So let's get to the midseason. We won't get straight to the end of the year, but let's get to the midseason and we will see how we do. Okay, finally, we are 6-1 at the midseason. We are doing well across the board. We have a top 3 offense, the number 2 defense for points per game allowed. The yards are a little worse, but not much worse, still 8. We're 3rd for sacks. We are doing very, very well at 6-1. Now, there's one slight problem, which I guess doesn't really affect this season, but we have negative 37 mil in cap for the offseason. We also, you know, we have a top 3 sack getting defense, but the 2 players we have to re-sign are Joe Tryon and Zadarius Smith. So goodbye pass rush, possibly, unless we can restructure all of our deals and somehow get these 2 back. We'll find out, unless we do make this the final year. Unless we, like, you know, if we win a Super Bowl here, we'll just finish it there, but unlikely because we actually have a good team. But, you know, really nothing else for us to do here because we don't have any money to re-sign players, so let's get to the end of the year. Also, side note, it's so weird that you can get the next man up scenarios when you have injuries off. I hate that. But let's get to the end of the year and we will see how we finish. Okay, well, we kind of had a disappointing second half of the year. We finished, what, 5-5? Not great. Our offense was kind of bad. I mean, still the points per game were good, ranked 7th, but 14th for yards, 22nd for giveaways, 27th for third down percentage. That's not great. We might change the offensive playbook. I mean, I know it was a good offense, but it should be better, honestly. But Quincy Bonds, we didn't pass the ball, like, ever. Why is this how the Lions' offense offense is structured. They aren't this run heavy in real life. Yeah, in real life, they had the 9th most passing attempt. Here, this was probably last. I mean, I don't know. That's interesting. But Nick Chubb, almost 1,800 yards, 6.2 yards per carry. That's like double what we were getting. Literally, that's insane. Because yeah, that first year, I think Rachaad White had, what, 3.1 per carry? Just a slight improvement there. Just twice as good. 14 touchdowns for him too. 1,000 yards for Tavon Carter, 14 touchdowns. Amari Kennedy 1 yard away from 800, but really not much receiving. Like, holy shit, Will Cooper. This might be the lowest amount of receiving yards I've ever seen for a starting tight end. 295. Nick Chubb got more yards as a receiving back. That's something. Yeah, I don't love this offensive playbook. It seems decent, but the numbers aren't fun. Oh, and Dylan Harding was horrible. 8 sacks allowed at left guard in only 402 passing attempts. If we played a normal amount, that would have been like 12 from left guard. Maybe not that many, but maybe. But lots of TFLs as per usual. 17 for Zadarius Smith, but sacks. We fixed our issue here. 13 for Zadarius Smith, 12 for Joe Tryon, 10.5 for Eric Armstead. Damn, what a trio. I mean, that's what, like 35.5 sacks between just those 3? That's crazy. And then 4 picks for Kaiser White. Interesting. Is he gonna get X Factor? Maybe. And then 1 pick for literally 6 different players. So a good amount of total picks compared to, you know, what's typical for simulation. But Mahomes wins his like 12th MVP. That's fun. Not that that's unrealistic, but it's a little boring. Nick Chubb at number 6 for Offensive Player of the Year, not MVP. And of course, Aiden Hutchinson. Micah Parsons always seems unbeatable. This game hates me so much. Micah Parsons usually wins every single NFC Defensive Player of the Year for the rest of time. But of course, when we have a former player in Aiden Hutchinson, of course he wins it. Of course. But Zadarius Smith at number 4, Joe Tryon at 6. No Eric Armstead? That's interesting. But Louis Dyson, I don't know. He was up there at number 10. Nobody up here for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Feel like it's been a while since we literally haven't won a single Rookie of the Year award throughout a rebuild. But against all odds, we have a good team. Like, winning a Rookie of the Year award is very important. But we've been cucked like 4 times here, of course. But for rookie dev traits, Ridgeway has Superstar. That's surprising, but cool. I mean, it's not that surprising, but I just didn't think he would have it. And then I think that was that our only hidden dev for starters? It might have been, because we have Hayden, but he didn't start. And then we had Dyson, but he didn't start. Yeah, that might have been. That's crazy. But all right, we're going to be facing the Bears in the wild card. We're going to do one more year here. One more year after this, because kind of based off the stats and how we finished the year, I don't think we're going to finish as that good of a team. Or like, no, we didn't finish as that good of a team, but based on the fact that we didn't finish that well, I don't think we're going to win this game. I mean, maybe. It looks like the Bears weren't particularly good. I'm surprised they went 11-6 with pretty bad stats. I mean, they had a good overall team, same overall as us, but not the best stats. But let's simulate this game. We'll see what happens. And we do win 32-21. We'll take it. And we get an upgrade for Sheldon Ridgeway. That's cool. But now we're going to be taking on the 88 overall 13-4 San Francisco 49ers. I think they were what, like an 89 last year? I guess they did lose both of their... Oh, no, wait, Eric Armstead, I forgot, got signed by the Jags, but they at least lost Javon Hargrave, so maybe that's why they went down in overall. I don't know, but they are still a better team than us on paper, so. To be fair, though, it looks like their defense wasn't that good. I guess it was good for points per game, but yards 20th, so let's see if we can beat them. And we do. Is this just a repeat of last year? I mean, different wild card team, but 49ers into Cowboys in the conference championship. I wonder what's going to happen here. But we have a hot opponent scenario. We will go be confident, even though I'm not. I feel like we're going to get smacked again. And to be fair, I guess we don't really deserve to win. They're the better overall team, but we kind of do deserve to at least play close after how bad we got beat last year. So let's see what happens. Can we move on to our first Super Bowl of the rebuild? Maybe the last game of the rebuild if we do. We get absolutely bodied again, and it's going to be a Chiefs-Cowboys rematch. Great. But okay, we did free up enough money to get at least Joe Tryon back. It looks like Zadarius Smith retired, which kind of sucks, but maybe there'll be someone, and surely Joe Tryon will re-sign after the 40th time, or 40th try trying to get him back. No, I think what I said the first time was better. 40th time trying to get him back. I'm fucking tired, all right? Wow, he rejects it. No way. Guess what, buddy? You're getting tagged. And now we have no money, so let's get to the draft. But okay, in the draft, this game's messing with me today. The Seahawks have been the worst team in the league twice in a row. That's fun. Love that. To be fair, I feel like I'm the most unbiased Seahawks fan fan maybe ever. That's definitely arguable, but the Seahawks are like one of the lowest overall teams in my rosters. I feel like they'll be decent this year, but there are definitely concerns with the roster on paper. What the hell? Crothers. This was the guy I was thinking about taking, at least, you know, at some point here, because he's a top 5 talent corner. What kind of last name is Crothers? It's similar to the Carruthers or whatever that shows up 10 times in every draft class. Let me find one with that last name. Now watch, this is the one time there won't be one. Do I even need to show it? Y'all, if you've seen the channel before, we have at least 1 or 2 per rebuild with that last name. Hedgecock, that's great. Is this a waste of time? Probably. I've seen like 5 Applewhites, but I actually don't see any Carruthers or whatever. Okay, never mind. There wasn't a single one, of course. But anyways, before we get too sidetracked, what do we want to do with this first pick? I wanted a pass rusher, but there isn't one left. I mean, I don't like taking late first round outside linebackers. They always suck. Taylor Carrington might be okay, but like he's not going to be better than the 2 guys we already have. He'll probably be like a 74, maybe as low as like a 72. I don't know. I don't want to do that. How does Caleb Fitzgerald look? Pretty good. Tight end. Oh yeah, and like I said last year, tight end was our focus position. The first tight end that was available, like before we had gone and simulated any picks, was a 3rd to 4th round projection. Of course. But this year it's good. I mean, well, actually, not great. I'm sure there are some tight ends that have been taken. I'm pretty sure there were, but it isn't great. Okay, this year, we are gonna trade this pick away. Hopefully that corner's still there at the end of the second, but we're trading this away. Whoa, what is the Vikings receiving core? They got Amon-Ra St. Brown and Justin Jefferson, both at 99 overalls. They also have Jordan Addison. That's interesting. This would put the other team over the salary cap. They were over the salary cap. I hate this so much. Like, this saves them $1 million cap, and it's like, oh, you can't do that. Maybe for, like, future years it does. I don't know. They're already over the cap. Suck my balls. But, all right, we're gonna trade our first-round pick this year and 3 depth players because we didn't have the cap for George Pickens. He'll be our new number 1. That's really what we needed, especially because I do think we are going to change the playbook to be more pass heavy. I don't know if we're going to go full Chiefs, but we might. Would that be a little lame? Probably. I don't know. We could go Bengals. They're pass heavy. Yeah, I guess that would work. But I think we're only going to make 1 pick this year, and that is going to be in the late second. Is the corner still available? He is. Ramon Crothers, elite speed, ran a 4.29 and a 4.25. It's probably only going to be like 96 speed. A-man, B-zone, B awareness, C play rec. I mean, he's a top 5 talent. Oh, and of course he has normal dev. Why wouldn't he? That's great. But okay, here's how we did in the draft. Honestly, if Ramon Crothers had a dev trait, this would be an amazing pick. I mean, it's still obviously an amazing pick. Like late second, you're getting a top 5 player in the class. That's crazy. What can you really do? There's also an insanely good right guard, Caleb Fitzgerald. Wait, is this a guy I looked at and said, hey, he looks pretty good? Oh no. Well, I mean, we traded for George Pickens, so I mean, we still got a good player. Oh no, that is the guy. I went back and looked, and I only said pretty good. I mean, he was very, very good. To be fair, again, this is why they need A pluses to be a thing. When I was looking at him, I was like, oh, only 29 bench reps, and you know, his run blocking wasn't amazing. But if I would have known, hey, he's an insanely good pass blocker, 90 pass block, 86 finesse, 84 awareness, like, then I would have said, okay, he's very good. But no way of knowing that. You would have a way of knowing, hey, this guy's ridiculous at this one thing in real life, but you don't have that here, which I've complained about 1,000,000 times. I just don't like it because it's not realistic. Another unrealistic thing to add to the pile. Okay, anyways, draft doesn't really matter. We might start that corner, we might not, we'll see, but let's get into the final year. Hopefully we're good. But okay, here we are heading into the final year. We are looking very, very good. 86 overall, 89 offense. Not the best defense, obviously, only an 84, but it should perform well, at least I'm hoping. I don't know. Oh yeah, and also, Thurman Hayden has X Factor. Here's the problem. I don't know if we should start him. I mean, Joseph was honestly pretty good when he played. Darnell Joseph, which I, for some reason, can't remember his name for the life of me, but I don't know. Should we start Hayden or Joseph? Ooh, what if we get a little silly and goofy here? What if we start Hayden at defensive end, and then bear with me now. You know, Joseph has 90 strength, and we don't really really have the best defensive tackles. I mean, we have a lot of them, but Darnell Joseph at D tackle, what would Hayden be? 78? Okay, that's less of a drop in overall. Okay, maybe Hayden would be better to play at D tackle. Yeah, that's what we'll do. But now with the new offensive playbook, with, you know, the addition of George Pickens, hopefully this is a good offense. It should be. It's very good on paper. We've had a good offense technically, of course, but just again, I want to be more pass heavy. Sometimes the run heavy offenses do work better in franchise, in simulation, but we'll just see what happens. Also, our defense was horrible in the preseason. Why? That's kind of concerning. Also, Bonds was horrible in the preseason. 1 touchdown, 2 picks, not great. None of our backups got sacks, other than, I guess, Drake Jackson. Joe Tryon had 3.5 sacks, probably barely playing. I don't know why he's so good in this game. But all right, let's just get straight to the end of year number 5, and we will see how this team does in the final year. Ooh, boy, y'all aren't ready for the complaining I'm about to do. Here we are at the end of the year with, what I should point out is an 88 overall team. We probably would be better if we had positive morale, probably a decent bit better. Actually, does morale affect team overall? I have no idea, because I feel like if it did, we would be still like an 86 or 7, but I don't know. But if you've enjoyed today's rebuild, you know, be sure to leave a like, be sure to subscribe, all that good stuff you already know. Let me know any fun rebuild ideas y'all have down below, the whole deal. Let's go over the season stats first, shall we? Okay, Quincy Bonds was decent, 3,700 yards, 27 touchdowns, only 11 picks. 1,100 yards for Nick Chubb, much worse year than last year, but was still good. George Pickens, 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. Carter was good, over 900 yards. I found our problem. Our probably average of 86 overall offensive line allowed 51 sacks. This game, man, I normally don't, when I'm complaining, usually I'm more so joking, like I'm not genuinely like pissed, but here this is like fucked up. Like this is awful. Like this is probably the best overall offensive line in the league, and it allowed 51 sacks. Do they not play test this game? Do they not make sure, like, hey, let's go through and make sure the numbers are realistic based on overalls? Like, they couldn't have. This shouldn't happen. There's no way. That's so crazy. Like, Joel Bitonio, 13 sacks allowed, and he's an 86 overall. That's something else, man. Like, to allow 13 sacks, genuinely, I think you would be, because I don't know how many linemen allow 13 sacks in a year. I wonder if that's, hold on, PFF, save me. Is that something I can look up? PFF, as much as, you know, like their ratings are questionable, I love their stats. Let me see. Sacks. The most this year was 12 for Andre Dillard, who they gave a 51 grade, a 47 pass block grade, and 12 for Mekhi Becton, who they gave actually a 60 pass block grade. But, oh, I guess he played double the amount of snaps that Andre Dillard did. Okay. So yeah, those were like the bottom of the barrel guys. And Joel Bitonio at an 86 was somehow even worse than like legitimately terrible blocking. Okay, that's cool. Also, Jalen Duncan, 9 sacks allowed in only 200 pass blocking snaps. That's almost 1 per every 20 snaps he plays in pass blocking. That's crazy. He was a guy I hated as a prospect. Yeah, that aged well. But Tavon Myers led the team in tackles with 120. TFLs, I skipped over TFLs and went to sacks, but we had a lot of TFLs. My eyes hurt. Am I okay? Did this game give me like a stroke? I'm kind of seeing like white right now. Like, I'm not joking. It feels like I was just staring into the sun for a second. Am I gonna die live on camera? That would get a lot of views if someone could find a way to upload it. That would be cool as hell. But Darnell Joseph, 11 sacks, 6 for Joe Tryon, 2 picks for Michael Carter and Gilbert Craig, 1 for 3 different players. But I want you to take a guess, all right? Leave your prediction in the comments right now. No cheating. With an 88 overall team, let me check one more thing. Where does an 88 rank in the league for overall? We're tied with the Ravens. We're much better than the Panthers. Surely they didn't make the playoffs. We're the same as the Jags. The Giants are better. The 49ers are better. And the Chiefs are better. So we're like somewhere in the 5 to 10 range. The Texans are also better. Yeah, we're in like the 5, 6 to 10 range in terms of team overall, and would have been even better if we actually did as well as we should. Take like 1 second, leave your record prediction down in the comments, which I also find it funny. I've mentioned this a few times on the channel, but the team was the Lions when we had like a 90 overall, best team in the league, and we went 4-12-1. But here in the final season, we went 4-13. NFL, please give the rights to a football video game to a different company. I'm begging you.